The poem BeoWulf was composed sometime between the middle of the 17th and the end of the first millennium in the
We know
language
the
that
poem
is
more or
today
less
called
by chance because it
Anglo-Saxon or
exists in
Old
one
English.
manuscript only.
The poem was
This
written
unique
in
copy,
England,
now
but the
in the
events
British Library,
it
barely survived a fire
are set
in the 18th
Scandinavia
century
in a
and was
once upon a
then
time
transcribed
that
and
is
titled,
particularly historical.
reinterpreted
We know
until
the
it had
poem more or
become
less by chance because it
chronological.
exists in one manuscript only. This unique copy, now in the British Library, barely survived a
Starts
fire
with the
in the
war
18th
between the
century
spear
and was then
Danes in days gone by,
transcribed
and the kings who
entitled,
ruled them
reinterpreted
had
until it had
courageous
become
and greatness.
canonical. This poem starts with the
There
war
was
between the
Shield
Danes
Shefson,
in days gone
scourge
by,
of many
and the kings who
tribes,
ruled
a
them
wrecker
had
of mead
courage
benches,
and greatness.
rampaging
There
among
was Shield
foes.
Shefron, scourged of many tribes,
Afterward, a boy child
mead
was born to
benches,
Shield, a cub in the yard,
rampaging
a comfort sent
foes.
by God to the nation.
Afterward,
Shield had fathered
boy
a son
was
named
born
Beo,
to Shield, a
and
cub in
Shield
the
was
yard,
still
a
striving
great send
when his
by
time
God
came
to the
in
nation.
and
Shield
he
had
crossed
fathered
over
a
into
son
the
named
Lord's
Beo,
keeping.
and Shield was still striving when this time came, and he
Well
crossed
regarded
over
and ruled
into
the
the
Danes
Lord's
for a
keeping.
long time after his
He
father
was well
took
regarded
leave
and ruled
of
the
his
Danes
life
for
on
a long
earth.
time after his father took leave of his life on earth. The fortune of war favored Hargar. Friends and kinsmen flocked to his ranks, followers, a force that grew to be a mighty army. So his mind turned to hall buildings. He handed down orders for men to work on a great mead hall, meant to be a wonder of the world forever. It would dispense his God-given goods to young and old, but not the common land or people's lives. So times were pleasant for the people until finally one of Feed out of hell began to work his evil in the world. Grendel was his name. After nightfall, Grendel set out to the lofty house to see how the ring Danes
out of hell
were settling,
began to work his evil in the world.
After their drink,
Grendel was his
and there
name.
he came upon them. Then the brute was creating havoc. Greedy and grim, he grabbed thirsty men.
After nightfall,
30 men
Grendel
from
set out
their
to the
resting
lofty
place
house
and
to see
butchered
how
the
the
corpse.
ring Danes were
BeoWulf
settling
had snuck into the
into
lair
it
of the
after
Grendel,
their
defeated
drink.
the beast, and
there
sliced
he
his
came
arm
upon
off
them.
from the shoulder and killed
Then
him.
the brute was creating
BeoWulf
havoc.
then nailed
Greedy and
Grendel's
grim,
arm
he
up
grabbed
on a post
30
to
men
signify fame
from their
and
resting
defeat
place and
against the
butchered
Grendel.
the corpse.
His head is served
BeoWulf had snuck into
paraded
the lair
to
of the
Harriet.
Grendel, defeated
It
the
is all
beast, and
consistent
sliced
with
his
the
arm
surge
off
of
from the
youth
shoulder
and the
killed
compulsion
him.
to win fame. His father had a feud with Heffelof, and given the head of Grendel was a peace
Grendel's
offering
arm
for all
up
the
to
grief
on a
Grendel
post
had
to
caused,
signify
and all the
fame
havoc
and
he
defeat
had
against
wreaked
the
upon
Grendel.
us in Harrod. BeoWulf is
head is
quickly brought
served
to
and
the chamber
paraded
of
to
Grendel's
Harrod.
mother, where
It
her
is all
intent is
consistent
to
with the
avenge
surge
the
of
death of
youth
her son.
and the
The
compulsion
poem
to
BeoWulf
win
was
fame.
composed sometime between the middle of the 17th
His father
and the
has a
end of the
feud with
first millennium, in the language that is today
Heffelof,
called Anglo-Saxon
and given the
or
head of
Old
Grendel
English.
was a
The
peace
poem was
offering
written
for all
in
the grief
England, but
Grendel
the
had
events
caused, and all the havoc
are set
he
in
has
Scandinavia in a once
wreaked
upon a
upon
time
us
that
in
is particularly
Harriet.
historical. We know the poem more or less by chance because it exists in one manuscript only.
BeoWulf is quickly
This
brought
unique
to the
copy,
chamber of
now in the
Grendel's
British
mother,
Library,
where her
barely
intent
survived
is to avenge
a fire
the
in
death
the
of her
18th
son.
century. It was
While
then
it was hand to hand between
transcribed
us.
and
Then blood
titled,
went curling
reinterpreted
along the
until it
currents,
had
and I
become
beheaded
canonical.
Grendel's mother in the hall.
This poem
With a mighty
starts with the
sword,
war
I
between
barely
the
managed to escape
Danes.
with my life.
In days gone
My
by,
time had
and the
not
kings who
yet
ruled them
come.
had courage and greatness. There was Shield Shefron,
The White Kingdom reverted to
of many
BeoWulf. He
tribes,
ruled it well
a
for
wrecker
50
of mead
winters.
benches,
Grew old and wise
rampaging among foes.
as warden of the land.
Afterward, a boy child was born to Shield, a
BeoWulf was
cub in the
given bad
yard,
news, a
a
hard
great
truth.
send
His own
by
home,
God to the nation.
the best
Shield
of
had fathered a
buildings
son
had been
named
burnt
Beo,
to a cinder.
and Shield
The
was
throne
still
room of the
striving
Greeks.
when this
It
time came,
threw
and he
the hero
crossed
into
over
deep
into the
anguish
Lord's
and
keeping.
darkened his mood. The
He was
wise
well
men
regarded and
thought
ruled the
he
Danes
must
for a
have
long
thawed
time after his
ancient
father took leave
ordinance
of his
of the
life on earth.
eternal Lord.
The fortune
Broken
of
his
war
commandment,
favored
his mind was in
Harkar.
turmoil,
Friends and kinsmen
unaccustomed
flocked to his
anxiety
ranks.
and
Young
gloom confused his brain.
followers,
The fire
a force
dragon
that
had
grew
raised
to
the
be
coastal
a mighty
region
army.
and reduced forts
So
and
his mind
earthworks
turned
to dust and
hall
ashes.
buildings. He
So
handed
the
down
war king
orders
planned
for
and
men
plotted
to
his
work on a
revenge.
great mead hall, meant to be a wonder of the world forever. It would dispense
Confronts
his
the dragon.
God-given goods to young and old, but not the common land or people's lives. So times were pleasant for the people until finally one of Feed,
but he also
out of
meets his
hell,
own death
began to
and
work
ends his
his evil
selection
in the
of
world.
his people as a
Grendel
warrior
was
of
his name.
high renown.
After nightfall, Grendel
Beowulf
set
dies,
out to the
slaying
lofty
the dragon.
house to see how the ring Danes were settling.
The
Into
great
it
people
after
built a
they
pirate
drank,
for Beowulf,
and there he came
stacked
upon
and
them.
decked
Then
it
the
until it
brute
stood
was
4
creating havoc.
square,
Greedy and grim, he grabbed thirsty
hung with
men,
helmets, heavy war
30
shields,
men
and shining
from their
armor,
resting
just as
place,
he had
and butchered
ordered.
the corpse.
Then his warriors laid
Beowulf
him
had
in the
snuck
middle of
into
it.
the lair of
Mourning
the Grendel, defeated the beast,
Lord
and sliced his
far
arm off from
famed
the
and
shoulder
beloved.
and killed him.
On a height they
Beowulf
kindled
then
the
nailed Grendel's
hugest of
arm
all
up on a
funeral
post
fires.
to signify
Fumes
fame
of wood
and defeat
smoke
against the Grendel.
billowed darkly
His
up.
head
The
is
blaze
served
roared and downed out
and
their weeping.
paraded to
Wind died
Harriet.
down, and
It
flames
is all
wrought
consistent with the
havoc in
search
the
of
house.
youth and the compulsion to win fame.
Hot bone house,
His father
burning
had
it
a
to the
feud
core.
with
They were
Heffelof, and
disconsolate
given the
and
head of
wailed
Grendel was a peace
aloud for
offering
their
for all the
lord's
grief
decease.
Grendel had
A
caused,
great woman too
and all
sang
the
out in
havoc
grief.
he had
With hair
wreaked
bound
upon
up,
us
she
and Harriet. Beowulf is quickly
burned
brought to the
herself.
chamber of Grendel's
Of her
mother,
worst
where
fears,
her intent is
a wild
to avenge the death of her son. The poem Beowulf is
litany
composed sometime
of
between
nightmare
the middle
and
of the 17th
lament.
and the end of the
Her
first
nation
millennium,
invaded
in the
enemies
language that is
on the
today
rampage.
called Anglo-Saxon
Bodies
or
of
Old English.
bodies
The
in
poem was
piles,
written in
slavery
England, but the
and
events
abasement.
it
Heaven swallowed
describes
the
are set in
smoke.
Scandinavia.
Then the
in a
great
once
people
upon a
began
time
to construct
that
a
is
mound on
particularly
a
historical.
headland,
We know
high
the
and
poem
imposing
more or
a
less by
marker
chance, because it exists in one
that sailors
manuscript
could see
only.
from far
This
away,
unique
and in
copy,
10 days
now
they
in the
had
British
done
Library,
the work.
barely survived a fire in the 18th century. It was then transcribed,
Suggest that everybody read Beowulf. Beowulf
until it had
is
become
a very good book,
canonical. This poem starts
especially
with the
for
war
its
between
time,
the Spar
because they
Danes,
do have
in
an
days
English
gone by, and the kings who
and
ruled
an
them
Old
had
English
courage
version.
and greatness. There was Shield Sheffron, scourged of many tribes, a wrecker of mead benches, rampaging among foes. Afterward, a boy child